Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. We are right smack dab in the middle of doing a palette collection series. I will put the playlist down in the description box below. We are on the I through the Q's. Okay, this is not in alphabetical order. This is just going from my drawers. We went through A through H, and now we're going through I through Q's. This is not a declutter. This is just going through my collection and just having some fun. Okay, if I do run across a palette that I'm thinking about decluttering, I'll set it off to the side, use it in a use it or lose it, and then decide if I want to keep it or not. So, okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, there's a lot of palettes in front of me. Okay, let's just start from what's on top here. Okay. This is the ColourPop Lust for Dusk palette. A beautiful, I don't know, you call this cool tone, you call this warm toned, I don't know. It's just kind of neutral, really. It's a very fun palette to play with. I love bringing this out any time of year, really, to make a nice, kind of dark look, really evening time look, kind of look. It is a really nice, great ColourPop quality. One of their rare 16 pan palettes that they don't do a lot of. Okay, one of the two Own's Eye palettes I have is the Hella palette. This is Own's Eye X Angelica Nyqvist, and it looks like this. It is a very beautiful palette. I go back and forth on whether I like Odin's Eye or whether I want to buy more Odin's Eye, but this palette was really good quality. And the other Odin's Eye is the Alva palette, which is in my Shop My Stash, which I'll show y'all and later on in the series. And the shimmers are just too glittery. That's not the case with this one, though. The shimmers aren't as glittery in this one. So, I don't know. I don't know if it was just for this palette or what. Oh, I was going to say, I don't know if I'm going to get through all of the palettes in this drawer or not. Like I said, I am finishing up today for this week. I'll be gone next week, and then I'll pick up again the week after that, and then we will finish out the series. So, this is the BH Cosmetics Lost in Los Angeles palette. It is their pastel palette. I'm not real big on pastels, but I like keeping a couple in my collection, and this is very good quality, so yeah, I like keeping that around in my collection. Something else I like keeping around in my collection is the Hip Dot Peeps palette. I know that I probably won't use this palette much, but I just like having it in my collection just for funsies, and it just makes me happy. So that's why I keep it. So yeah, definitely keeping that around. One of my favorite, probably in the top, probably top 5 ColourPop palettes is the Making Mauves, or Making Mauves, however you want to say it, palette from ColourPop. Like I said, should I bring this with me on vacation? I don't know. It makes a good everyday look for certain, for sure. I love using this palette. I like that there's only 3 shimmers in it. I use all the colors in it. You can smoke it out with this color here. I had to keep that one in mind. Okay, I had just used this in a palette roulette. It is the iconic London. It is the Sunset to Sunrise palette. Definitely an underrated palette, I think. I got this in a BoxyCharm, I think. A BoxyCharm Premium, I believe it was. And these colors are a lot more pigmented than they look. And you can make a lot of different looks with this palette. Did it have a mirror? Yeah, it has a mirror in it too. One of my more prized possessions is my BH Cosmetics Naughty Palette that came out a couple of Christmases ago. They do not have this palette anymore, and I know that a lot of people wish they had gotten this palette, so I am so glad that I picked it up. You can make so many different looks with this palette. I like to bring it out every Christmas time and make a look with it, but you can really use it any time of year to make any kind of look, really. There is a couple of pressed glitters in here, but I mean, they're not really those, I mean, you know those pressed glitters that are real chunky and are really annoying, and these aren't those kind of pressed glitters. So, but they do get everywhere. But those real chunky ones that you're afraid are going to get into your eyes, it's not like that. Another ColourPop palette that I used just recently is the Plush Like Me palette. Not one of my favorite ColourPop palettes, but I like having it around. Makes some good evening looks. Kind of this color here kind of throws me off, but I should play with this palette some more. And I don't know, it might end up in a use it or lose it someday, but not anytime soon. Another BH palette, a Christmas palette that came out a couple of years ago is this Miss Claus, Santa's Daughter is Here to Slay. It's called the So Spoiled palette. And it looks like this. Doesn't really look like a Christmas palette to me, but the pans are so small. I got this from Miss Gloria. She sent this my way after she did a declutter. And this is what it looks like here. I don't know if I've played this one yet. I'll have to pull this out for a Shop My Stash and play with that. And yeah, really cute palette. Looks like you can do a lot of good looks with it. And there you go. Something I got, I think I got this in an ice cream beauty bag. This is the Amuse Cosmetics Into the Forest Wild Eyes. And this is what it looks like. A very neat, grungy looking palette. I only used this a couple of times, but it's one of those palettes you just kind of forget about. But I'm not going to declutter it. I still like these warm tones in here. And yeah, I'll probably pull it out for a Shop My Stash someday. Okay, a palette surprised I don't use more often is the Jawbreaker, the Jennifer Cosmetic Jawbreaker mini palette. It has purples and pinks in it. I like purples and oranges together. It's got yellows or golds in it. There's only, there's 3 shimmers in here. So yeah, I need to pull that out for a Shop My Stash. Maybe do an Instagram look with it or something like that. One of my newer palettes that I got that I am just totally obsessed with is the Liesl Cosmetics Metamorphosis palette. It looks like this, very warm toned and very beautiful. Has some multi-chromes in it that are just to die for. And yeah, definitely loving this palette. I just wish Liesl Cosmetics was a little more affordable. I mean, not like drugstore affordable. They don't have to be, because I know they do multi-chromes and all that, but they're a little more expensive than, say, other indie brands. Okay, next I have my Urban Decay Naked 3 palette. This one, I wish it was in the cardboard, but it's in one of those metal tins. And this is what she looks like, a very nice pink, rosy toned look. This is probably one of my favorite Naked palettes. Looks like that. You can make some really nice soft looks with it. Like with all my palettes, I say I need to bring this out more. Okay, another one of my favorite ColourPop palettes is the Limoncello palette. And it looks like this with all those pretty colors. I don't use that blue very often, but I love those yellow and brown colors in there. It is so pretty. It is that great ColourPop quality. And then something from Item Beauty. I think I got this either from Ipsy or BoxyCharm, I don't know, but it is a really good palette. I don't know what happened to Item Beauty. It left Sephora. I think they've gone out of business, but everything I have tried from Item Beauty has been a banger. I've loved everything from Item Beauty. I'm using an Item Beauty lip gloss. It's called Karina on my lips right now, and I absolutely love it. And I've tried their lip glosses and this, and I've got one of their blushes. Everything I've tried from Item Beauty has been totally awesome. I don't know what else to say. So I don't know exactly what happened. Maybe the company was mismanaged or something. I don't know, but this palette, it is neutral, but it is a really good neutral palette. I guess you could say some of the colors are a little redundant, but I don't know. It's a really good neutral palette. I don't know what else to say. Okay, probably no, this isn't my only Revolution product. I have a Christmas palette from them, but this was from XX Revolution. This was when Aaron and I were doing a collab together, and we both bought them from the Matrix, palettes from the Matrix. He got the Trinity palette, and I got the Morpheus palette. His was a little more colorful. Mine was a little more neutral. I don't think I've played with this palette since we did that collab together. So again, I need to pull this out into a Shop My Stash and play with it some more, because it was not bad quality. I was surprised because everybody says what bad quality Revolution is. That was not a bad palette. Okay, one of my favorite palettes that I own is the Violet Voss Olive You Forever palette. It is just a really cool neutral palette with some olive shimmers in it. It really goes with these colors here. A little black to deepen up the colors. It's even got some nice champagne colors in there to go with it. It's just a really cute palette. I just really love using it. Okay, and I have a NYX palette. I think this is the only NYX palette I have. I think I've decluttered my others. This one says NYX Ultimate Shadow palette, but I call this the Lunar New Year palette because that's when it came out. It's just called the Warm Neutrals, but I call it the Lunar New Year palette. That's why it's in this drawer. And it looks like this, and it has some reds in it like that to make it really nice and warm looks. Nowhere on here does it say it's the Lunar New Year palette, but that's just what I'm calling it. So this makes some really nice looks. I like the quality of it. This is the only... I did buy a little quad from NYX, but it was mostly shimmers, really big in-your-face shimmers. I think I bought it for a New Year's Eve look, and then I promptly put it away and never used it again, and then I decluttered it. But this, no, I'm keeping it around for a while. Okay, that was it for this basket. I'll be right back and we will talk about some more from this drawer. Okay, another palette that I just absolutely love. I was kind of on the fence about it at first, but the more I played with it, the more I've really enjoyed it, is the Lunar Beauty Nude Prism palette. I got this in a BoxyCharm Premium, and it's the only... What am I trying to say? It's the only Lunar Beauty palette that I own. Has a nice mirror in it, and it looks like this. This is the one I was saying the other day. Looks very similar to the Smoke and Roses palette by ColourPop. I swear all these colors are in the Smoke and Roses palette. This is just a smaller version of it. But I think I'm going to take this one on my vacation with me. I love all the looks I have done with this one. Again, this is one of my favorite palettes that I own. So definitely, and look at this. This little moon here is raised up. And these little cherry blossoms it's very textured. I get what I'm trying to say. So yeah, definitely love this palette. Put it over here. Okay, another palette that I just got that I absolutely love is this Moira palette. I love keeping the Moira palettes in their packaging. And it's the Magic Dreaming palette. It looks like this. It's like carnival themed. Comes with that. Does my finger in another shade. All right. Looks like this. This is such a fun palette to play with. And you can even make neutral looks with it too, using like these shades and probably this shimmer right here. But it's so much fun to make colorful looks with this palette. Yeah, this has been really fun. I'm so glad I picked up this palette. A very new palette that I just added to my collection is the Pearl Treasure palette. I got in a Slay Glam Beauty box, Slay Glam box, and it is a very pretty, a very nice palette that I would love to play with some more because you can get lots of looks out of this palette. I have very few palettes. I have some, but I have very few palettes that have just lots of different colors in it that aren't rainbow palettes and just have like all these different combinations. I have that Naughty palette. This reminds me of that. This just has so many different looks that you can do with it. And yeah, it's very versatile. It does have a pressed glitter in it. It looks kind of chunky, but you know, that happens sometimes when you have subscription boxes. Sometimes you get a palette with glitters in it. Okay, next is the ColourPop Lucky Penny palette, and it is one of those copper bronzy palettes, and it looks like this. It is okay. I wish it had some lighter shades in it, but you know, not every palette can be for every person, and I like it okay. It's all right. I am not ready to get rid of it yet or anything like that, but it might be in line for a use it or lose it sometime soon. So I might have to think about that. Okay, my next palette is from Nomad. It is the Paradise Islands palette. It is the other, what do you call them, pastel palette that I have. Pretty much pastels. And I just really like using it. It's a little lower on my favorite, on my Nomad list as far as favorites go. It's not my favorite and not my least favorite either, but it's just because I'm not a big fan of pastel palettes, but I love Nomad, so I'm keeping this palette around for sure. It blends perfectly. There's nothing wrong with the formula on this, absolutely not. And I did make a blue look with this that was a beautiful look. And yeah, it's just these really light colors. I complain when there's not light colors. I complain when there's light colors. I'm never happy. I don't know what to tell you. The other Nomad palette I have here is the Monteverde Cloud Forest palette. I absolutely love this one. It has all kinds of colors in it, and there's no real light colors in it, but I still love this palette. And because it's real colorful, and it has a lot of greens in it too. This color is light, this color is light too. This green color here. And yeah, it's fun to make green looks with it. I haven't really used the really colorful looks with it. I might pull it out for a Shop My Stash and do an Instagram look with it. That would be a great idea. I think I might do that. So yeah, love this palette. It's higher up on my Nomad's favorite list. Okay, this is from BH Cosmetics as well. It's the Low Key Love You look. It opens this way. Now it has a nice mirror on it, and it's a nice warm tone, reds and golds, and it has a nice brown in it as well. And this is for making a really nice red look if I want it. It's come up in Palette Roulette a couple of times. So, you know, I can make a nice everyday look with this palette, and it's pretty good. I like it. It was probably, out of all the 6 that came in this collection, this was definitely the one I wanted, my favorite one that showed up. So, and I had bought Erin one too. I forget what color story that one was, but this one was definitely my favorite out of the two. So yeah, really enjoyed this one. Okay, I have another BH palette. It is the Party in Puerto Rico palette. I pulled this out for Shop My Stash last month, and then I never used it because I had a couple of other palettes that had a very similar color story, and I think that's why I just didn't get around to using it. Plus, I had a lot of palettes that I picked last month, and a lot of new palettes that were coming in, all that kind of stuff. So this is a really pretty palette. I have other palettes that are very similar to it. I don't know, but I don't think I'm gonna put it up for use it or lose it, because I'll definitely keep using it because it's a BH palette. The formula's so good, there's no way I'm gonna get rid of it. So yeah, that one's definitely staying. Okay, the next palette I have is the e.l.f. No, it's not e.l.f. It is a Makeup Revolution palette. It is in collaboration with the movie e.l.f. I always think it's weird when brands do collaborations with movies, just like the Matrix one I have. This one is in a collaboration with a movie, the movie e.l.f. And it's called I'm a Cotton-Headed Ninny Muggins. I like that movie. I don't remember that line though. And this was a Christmas collab, and it has a lot of fun colors in it. I have only used this once, and that was for a Christmas collaboration. And yeah, I definitely need to pull this out because it has a lot, like I said, a lot of fun colors in it. Maybe I'll do another Christmas collab and do like a really funky Christmas look. That would be fun. What do you think about that? And the last palette I have for today is the Unearthly Cosmetics Not Normal palette. I love that artwork. That artwork is so cool. But when you open it up, just like when I got it, I was a little disappointed with looking at it. The colors don't look that vibrant, and neither do the shimmers. And the shimmers they're not special shades. They're not multi chromes or duochromes or anything like that. And I remember the look I did with that was not that spectacular either. Let me see. Let me swatch. And they're very dry too. No, that's not really. And then you got this gray. It's not really a silver. It's more just like a gray. Not like a sparkling silver. I think I'm going to put this up for use it or lose it for sure. And the purples and the greens just don't look that exciting. Yeah, I'm going to put this up for use it or lose it, I think. I love Unearthly Cosmetics. I'm just not wowed by that palette too much. We'll see if I can get a good look out of it. That's where we are going to end it for today. Join me back, not next week. I will be on vacation, but the week after that. Join me again to pick up where we left off on this palette collection. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Give this video a like if you enjoyed this video. Share with your friends. Anything like that to help engage with this video would really help me out a lot. Thank you so much for watching, even if that's all you do. Thank you so much for watching. If you are new here, thank you as well for watching. Please consider subscribing, hitting that notification bell, setting it to all so that you're notified every time that I upload a new video. So I hope y'all are all having a wonderful, fantastic day out there today. If you're having an especially hard time, know that I am thinking about you and sending you out all of those good vibes. Just remember to stay strong, stay healthy, and stay safe out there, and I will see you in another video soon. Just stay well until then, okay? Goodbye.